We will start with RJ Abadia. Go ahead, RJ.
Hey, Connor, thanks for doing this.
Of course, it's good to be here.
So I don't know if it's too much of an exaggeration to say that this is one of the most anticipated seasons ever from a wide receiver group at Stanford. I'm just curious what you've seen from your group so far and kind of how much do you guys focus on the expectations that you have for being a part of this offense this year?
Yeah, I think the offense this year is going to be great. But just like you were saying, the wide receiver group is something that a lot of people have their eye on. And, the expectations, they have high expectations for us. We have high expectations for ourselves. And we definitely think we're going to meet those expectations. We have a talented group, but beyond that, we have a very hardworking group and a family environment in that receiver room. So, it's a great room. And I definitely think that a lot of great things are going to be done on the field by those people and those players in that room.
And then just a quick follow-up. I think there's a lot expected from your quarterback as well, who hasn't really had a chance to have a full season as the guy. What makes Davis special from your point of view?
Yeah, so Davis is an amazing quarterback. And I would say one of his greatest attributes for a quarterback is just his ball, like his playmaking ability, his confidence and poise that he has in under pressure. He stays the same. He doesn't switch up. And when the time is crucial, you'll see this season that he makes those plays that we need him to make.
Next, we'll go over to Jacob Rayburn. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Connor. Hope you and your family are doing all right during all of this, and glad to be able to ask you about football. With this offseason, what did it look like for you in terms of a goal sheet, so to speak? What did it look like from your perspective of improving yourself as a receiver?
Yeah, so obviously with this offseason, it was one like we've never had before. Just being sent back to Washington for that amount of time is something I haven't done since, I came to Stanford for the first time. But I was fortunate enough to be able to train at Ford Sports Performance. It's this training facility up in Seattle. And there's a bunch of NFL players and college athletes that train there, including Richard Sherman, Stanford alum, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, DK Metcalf, Josh Gordon, and many more. So I was fortunate enough to surround myself with a lot of pros, NFL pros, and just to see and work with them on a daily basis, work out with them, run routes with them, do one-on-ones with literally Richard Sherman, and being able to go up against that competition and learn from them was an experience that I am definitely very grateful for, and I think helped me a lot over this past 4 or 5 months.
You mind sharing what that competition looked like against Richard Sherman, and do you know what your win-loss rate was with it?
Yeah, I mean the competition was great. I definitely after doing that I learned a lot. I mean, Richard Sherman, he is nothing to play with. So I definitely had to be focused and know what I had on him, which I think is my speed, and use that to my advantage.
Awesome. And last thing for now is the room is so deep, and then you guys added some really talented guys. What's your take so far on what you've seen from Bryce, Silas, and John?
Those three receivers are going to be great. They are all already very well developed and very technical at the receiver position. And I feel like the environment in our room is only going to bring them up more and make them even better. So as long as they stay focused, stay working hard, their potential is limitless.
Awesome. Thanks.
Go back to RJ Abadia. Go ahead, RJ.
So, Connor, just to follow up on your training, what is your understanding at this point after having that experience of the difference between an NFL wide receiver and a standout college wide receiver? What's the ground that you would want to cover and that you need to cover if you're going to get to the next level?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be a playmaker on the field, and when the opportunity comes your way, you have to make those plays. But specifically, from a college wide receiver to an NFL wide receiver, it's the little details. You know, it's the little things. It's the route running. It's the in and out of the breaks, and those subtle moves that you do and that you know and are aware of that the average eye doesn't see, but has an effect on the DB's positioning. So I would definitely say it's the little things that make a big difference. At the receiver position.
And then just a quick follow up for me, just on the team in general. We've talked to a bunch of guys about the idea of legacy, and Curtis said he was more focused on the legacy of this particular team in terms of being the team that turned things around and got things back to where you think they should be. What is the impact of legacy on your mindset as you step into this season?
Yeah, legacy is important, but legacy ultimately comes down to the decisions and choices that you do on a daily basis. If you want to leave a lasting legacy, then it's what you did yesterday, today, tomorrow is what is going to make that legacy happen. It doesn't just happen. It comes from work, consistency, and focus. But yeah, similar to what Curtis was saying, I think this team is very, very talented and very, very good. And I think that this team has the opportunity to really change the trajectory of this program. Like you said, like last year wasn't the season that we wanted. But this year, I definitely think we can bounce back and even do more and reach higher expectations than people have for us. But it's going to come down to consistency. It's going to come to focus, and then it's going to come down to playmaking at the end of the day.
Last question for Connor. Let's go to Ashley Adamson.
Hey, Connor. I just want to circle back on the work you did with Richard Sherman. What was it? Was there a tangible takeaway or something specifically that you can share that you learned from him that you're working on now?
I mean, one is mindset. I mean, obviously, you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard the way Sherman will speak in interviews and just on confidence and everything. But confidence is huge, and it really affects your play and your mental state. But beyond that, there's a lot of things Richard showed me just in terms of like route running from a DB's perspective, like attacking the blind spot and, using these subtle hand movements that will affect the DB eye looking at their eyes. There was a lot of little takeaways that he showed me that I'm going to be using this year.
Love that. Where do you think you are now compared to how you normally feel, even from, physical and mental standpoint, 2 weeks out from the season opener?
I feel great. I feel very healthy, and overall my body feels good. My mind feels good. So yeah, overall I feel very good, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play.
Love it. Awesome. Last quick thing from me, if I can sneak it in. I'd love to hear a little about some of the work that you do away from football, the Hope Given By, I think it's this organization that you're involved with. Can you give me a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, Hope Given By is an organization that my friend and I created to meet the immediate needs of the homeless. And we've done a lot of work with it. Over these past 6 months, ever since COVID really hit, it's been really tough and hard to, go out there into the city and give back just because of all the regulations that we have right now. Definitely during season, I mean, we're at the point where we can't have any visitors. We're getting tested every single day. So right now it's tough and hard to get movement going with Hope Given By. But once all of this stuff is over, we're going to start progressing again.
Awesome. Thank you, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thanks, Connor. We'll let you go and have Jet Toner join